Hello there, my name is Rachel Carr. I'm a plant-based chef, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe for an aged vegan cashew cheddar. On my blog I have many different versions of cashew cheese, but this is one of my favorites. I really love the very authentic cheese flavor that you get from slowly aging the cashew cheddar. This recipe does take about 12 days to 2 weeks, so it isn't one that's great if you want instant gratification. However, I think you're really going to find the results are worth the effort. So let's get started. Start by soaking about 2 cups of raw cashews for 2 hours. While they're soaking, we're going to take 1/4 of a yellow bell pepper, and then we're going to chop it up, and then we're going to blend it with a little bit of water in order to create a bell pepper puree. This is going to help color the cashew cheddar into a nice yellow cheese color. Drain the cashews and then add them to the blender, and then you're going to puree the cashews along with the bell pepper liquid until it's very smooth. You probably need to add a little bit of water to the cashew mixture at this point, but just add a little at a time because we're trying to keep it as thick as possible. Next, we're going to open 1 probiotic capsule into the cashew mixture. This is going to help start the fermentation process, which is going to continue throughout this entire 2 weeks that we're going to be creating the cheese. This is going to help give us a real authentic cheese flavor. The next step is to transfer the cheese into a colander lined with cheesecloth, and then we're going to let it sit out at room temperature for a full 24 hours to help begin the fermentation process. After 24 hours, take the cheese out of the cheesecloth, and then we're going to season it with a little bit of nutritional yeast, lemon juice, and sea salt. The reason we don't add the salt in the beginning part of the fermentation process is that it kind of inhibits a little bit the friendly bacteria from forming. Next, we're going to create the wheels of cheese by placing a ring mold onto a piece of parchment paper and then lining it with a little bit more parchment paper on the sides. This will help the cheese release from the mold. The next step is to spoon the seasoned cashew cheese into the mold and kind of form a nice wheel. This recipe should make about 2 3-inch wide wheels of cheese that are about 1 inch thick. Once you've created both of the wheels of cheese, I like to trim the parchment paper around the top edge of the mold down so that it's flush with the mold. And then you cover both of the wheels with plastic wrap, and then you're going to refrigerate it for about 2 days. After 2 days, you're going to carefully remove the cheese from the mold, and then you're going to season it with sea salt on the top and on the sides if you can handle it. And then you're going to cover it again and refrigerate it for about 10 to 14 days. After about 2 weeks, you'll notice that the wheels of cheese have dried out and firmed up a little bit, and they actually should become a little bit sharper in flavor. Throughout this process, I flipped them a few times and salted the bottoms and sides of the cheese a number of different times. One of my favorite ways to serve these wheels of cheese is on a cheese board with crackers, almonds, grapes, or even olives and dates, or whatever your favorite cheese board accompaniments are. This cheese spreads nicely, and you can also continue to ferment the cheese even longer if you want it to be firmer and sharper in flavor. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget to ferment that like button.